I, on behalf of INCD 2022, welcome you all for the public lecture session. Now I would like to take the names of chairpersons of this session. The Professor B.B. Agrawal. Professor Agrawal is serving as a professor and funding director in Inflammation Research Center, San Diego, California, USA. His area of interest is cytokine research, molecular therapeutics, cell and molecular growth regulation. He did his PhD from University of California, Berkeley. He has around 136,000 citations and he has published more than 700 research papers. He is also chief of the cytokine research section in the Department of Experimental Therapeutics at University of Texas, MD Anderson Cancer Center. Our next chairperson is Dr. Subhash C. Gupta. He is currently working as additional professor and head Department of Biochemistry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Guwahati, Assam. His area of interest is acidic microenvironment contributing to pathogenesis to different cancers and cancer prevention, chemoprevention, role of cancer stem cells, exosomal microRNAs and long non-coding RNAs in the regulating tumor development. He has published more than 111 peer-reviewed articles in a highly acclaimed journal and written several books. Now I would like to hand over my mic to our esteemed chairpersons. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Amol. And Dr. Narula is there or not?
I'm there.
Okay. So, good morning, sir. We are here in India. So, from India, good afternoon and good morning from USA. And it is our great pleasure and honor to introduce the speaker of this session, Dr. Achran Narula. He is basically an organic chemist. He has over 45 years of professional experience. He obtained his PhD with one of the renowned person in India, Dr. Sukhdev. And after completing his PhD, Dr. Narula moved to United States, where he has been continuing for more than 5 decades. During 5 decades of professional experience, Dr. Narula has worked as a faculty member in globally recognized universities such as Duke University and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In his extensive research career, he has published several articles, and since last 2 decades, he has been running his own company, and that is called Narula Research at Chapel Hill in North Carolina. And his responsibility basically includes research and development of dietary supplements for the attenuation, regulation and resolution of chronic inflammation. His work is directly relevant to the patients, and that you will see here, and his work has saved life of several patients. Dr. Narula has designed more than 50 dietary supplements, and each one stands on its own scientific merit. And in fact, I have already witnessed his lectures at least 2 places. And from my own experience, I can say that his work is directly relevant to the patients. And with these few comments, I request Professor Narula to start the lecture, please. And about lecture, you have 40 minutes and then 10 minutes for the question and answer discussion.
Okay, thank you Subhash. Appreciate your introduction. And now let me share the screen. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay.
We can see your slides, sir.
Okay, you can see my slide, wonderful.
Yeah.
So let's see one more thing here. I would like to get a spotlight. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for really giving me this opportunity to speak before you and this distinguished audience. And I'm sorry I'm not physically present there in Delhi University, but never mind, the technology did allow you to give a talk anywhere. So, as my slide shows here, my topic of the subject is inflammation, immunity, and chronic diseases. When the standard of care has been exhausted, what is next? Successful outcomes with botanicals. And this work, of course, I'm presenting at the 5th International Conference on Nutraceuticals and Chronic Diseases, which is being held at Delhi University, and today is October 8th. So, the next slide shows, let me move these away here. We don't need this anymore. Okay. All right. So the agenda of my talk really is first to thank certain people. Number one, Professor Alok C. Bharti and the organizers for the invitation, and of course the chairpersons, Professor Agarwal, Professor Gupta, and the session coordinator, Dr. Amol Kumar. I will then offer a small tribute, and then I will discuss some successful outcomes with ancient biologics, and they will be under subject heading a chemist's unexpected success in IBD, which is an ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, and then familial adenoposis polyposis and colon cancer, and then I will discuss work on osteoarthritis, what the standard of care is, where the failure of resolution of inflammation takes place, and the origin of chronic inflammatory diseases and the untold human misery. And if time permitting, I will also discuss a little bit about cancer immunotherapy and anti-tumor immunity. A tribute. Nula Research wishes to pay a tribute to the researchers who study the biology of human diseases using experimental animals, but keeping in mind the key differences between mouse and human immunology. There's a lot of difference between the two, so people should not mix them, okay? And the US National Library of Medicine database, PubMed. And then the sages and scholars of the traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. And of course, my Professor Sukhdev for being my teacher as well as a mentor by way of being a luminary example of inspiration and support. And his recent contributions are a prime Ayurvedic plant drugs published in 2012, and then an Ayurvedic herbs in healthy eating published in 2014. And my dear Professor Sukhdev is now plus 98 years of age and still active. Here is my picture with Professor Sukhdev taken in 2018, and I really am very disappointed I'm not in India because I would have liked to go and see him again. Hopefully we can do it another time. Okay. But then when did the unexpected bleeding start? What's the origin of it? I believe its origin is in these two publications that I published when I was in the Australian National University at the Research School of Chemistry. One publication was published in 1981 in Journal of Medical Chemistry, and the second was published in 1984 in the Journal of Biological Chemistry. These two papers are very fundamental because this work provided a general strategy to design inhibitors of the biosynthesis of terpenoids, and terpenoids are a huge class of natural products. Now, what was this work about? This work laid a foundation that this compound, compound number 3, which is 24-methyl-25-azacycloadenol, which is the analog of a carbonium ion high energy intermediate as shown in structure 1 here, is a potent inhibitor of S-endothelin L-methionine sterol C24-methyltryptophan in higher plant cells. This work provides a strategy where biological carbocations can be mimicked by an ammonium function, or by an N-oxide, or by a sulfonium function, or by a phosphonium or arsonium, and we have published all that work in the Journal of Biological Chemistry. So this work has many, many applications, and there are many people who are finding applications for this work. I met Professor Lawrence E. Gilbert, Chairman, Department of Biology at UNC Chapel Hill, and I discussed with him the possibility of designing inhibitors of the biosynthesis juvenile hormone in insects. This is a very important project because insects cause most damage to the crops during larval stage. And Professor Gilbert is perhaps I'm sure in the zoology department at the university, probably everybody knows about him because he is an extremely well-known insect physiologist who, however, passed away in 2017, but we remained very good friends. When I got into the lab and I started working on designing inhibitors of juvenile hormone synthesis, I knew that neem has a good properties in terms of insect pest management. And so I started preparing an extract from the neem leaf, and we had some very, very good results. I showed the results to him, and he said, "Oh, Acharan, you really don't need another publication. Go and talk to the News and Observer, our local paper." So I went to see them, and they came to my office, and we wrote a good article called "World Discovering the Merits of Wonder Tree," and that was published in Sunday edition of February 5th, 1995 in the News and Observer, which is the main paper in Raleigh. This article was spread over 3 pages. And then the 3rd page showed that neem research expands as science pursues folklore. And in this section here, pharmacological research shown from here to here, I put it there, pharmacological research appears to back the claim of Indian folklore. Chronic skin conditions ranging from acne and psoriasis to ringworm, warts and scalp-related problems are known to improve with substances based on this tree. Infections in the mouth cavity leading to tooth decay, sore gums and bleeding essentially disappear with regular usage of aqueous neem leaf extract as a mouthwash. Now this is a very important information because when it was read by one gentleman in our area called Johnston County in Princeton, North Carolina, this lady, her husband read that and he gave her this article. He said, "Go and meet this man." Because this woman, her name is Rose Roll, she was dying from ulcerative colitis. And 3 doctors had told her that she would never be well. So she comes into my office and asks me to help her. Now mind you, I'm a chemist. And I have not a faintest of idea how to help somebody with colitis, which is a serious, major inflammatory bowel disease. Nonetheless, she insisted that I help her. And at least give her the neem leaf. So cut the long story short, I participated in her health recovery, and boy, she got better. And when she got better, a huge article appeared in our paper, Wilson Self Journal, on Tuesday, January 27, 1906. And this article has become a classic in North Carolina. And I will share with you in a few minutes how it saved the lives of several people. Okay. So this unexpected success sparked my genuine interest in the study of inflammation, ulcerative colitis, and immunology, as well as traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. Mind you, I'm an organic chemist. Okay, so for me, it was a total change of career. Once I was successful with Rose Rolls, another woman, 46 years old, came to me who had a FAB gene positive, and she developed several colon polyps in her colon, and that the outcome of such a patient is that they have a 100% chance of developing colorectal cancer. Now, when this person came to see me, I said, "No, I really can't help you." He said, "Please help me, please help me." I said, "Okay, let's see what we can do." Now I was at that time starting to read about immunology and inflammation, and I had a very good book in my hand, which I got, which is called Inflammation, the Clinical Correlates. And that book had a very good chapter on FAB and what it does. So I found out that molecularly, going from a single pre-neoplastic cell with an APC mutation, you develop an aberrant crypt foci, the ACF. And this crypt now has high levels of TNF alpha, interleukin 17, interleukin 23, interleukin gamma, IL-6, and high expression of transcription NF-kappa B and STAT3. Boy, at the time I was knowledgeable enough about natural products that I thought I could put together a product that can handle this thing. Now, if a few other mutations take place, like a KRAS, SMAD4, and P53, then you have a full-blown cancer. Now such patients are therefore advised to undergo total colostomy. Okay. So, keeping this in mind and the molecule that I was trying to inhibit, I designed a product called Care. And Care was developed to inhibit the biology of pro-inflammatory chemokines, that is the chemotactic cytokines that mediate inflammation and thus alleviate and relieve human suffering. And this was written in a Neural Research Education Notes on May 2002. In fact, it is a registered trademark for me for now last 20 years. The second product we made was Aristafla. As the word Arista stands, Arista means reliever of sickness, and Phala means fruits. And this is based on a famous Ayurvedic medicine called Trifla. But the difference here is that Trifla has some shortcomings. And so when we made this product, Aristafla, it brought enormously good regularity, and people just love this product. In fact, some people give to their family as a Christmas gift. Now, with this success, with this patient, where an FAPD positive patient, a 19-year-old girl from Carver, North Carolina, who was the UNC Department of Gastroenterology Education and was about to get her colon removed, her mother approached me to see if I can help her. And I did, and the result was that it started a collaboration between me and Professor Barford Sarver, who is the director of the Center for Inflammatory Bowel Disease at UNC School of Medicine, Department of Gastroenterology. And we published a paper, Curcumin blocks cytokine-mediated NF-kappa B activation and pro-inflammatory gene expression by inhibiting inhibitory factor IKB kinase activity. So this paper is a paper where I think Professor Bharat Agarwal can confirm it or deny it. This was the first paper where curcumin was shown to inhibit NF-kappa B in the intestinal cells. And this has continued to be a very good collaboration for me with Dr. Christian Jobin, who is now a professor at University of Florida at Gainesville. And we have published many papers together. With this success, another woman, 43-year-old, with a 17 years history of ulcerative pancreatitis, she showed up on my test. She had failed the standard of care. And now you see, we're looking out to get her colon removed. It was a tremendous stress, extreme stress. And when she came to see me, I said to her, I said, look, you really need to start meditating and do deep breathing so that you can calm down your central nervous system, and for that you need a spiritual invocation. So I gave her a spiritual invocation, and that was, I am a child of God, complete, whole, and healed. Because in me, God's love is perfected and joy is established without any opposite. Because I'm the home of God's grace. The Lord bless me health, prosperity, peace of mind, and contentment. And she started invoking this invocation and then breathing this energy, holding that energy in her hand and gently releasing to invoke the energy again. And she told me that this became a habit for her. Interestingly, I also suggested to her that she not eat raw vegetables or fruits and avoid high meat intake and avoid raw sugar, no soft drinks, no beer, wine or alcohol, but instead take basmati rice, butter, mung beans, whole milk yogurt and ripe bananas. Now, and she was only given two products, Aristafla and Mucosa oil. I will share with you in a few minutes what Mucosa oil is. Okay? Now, moong dal. India is known to eat moong dal. People eat it. But it is not just a folklore. The aqueous extract of moong bean coat is highly protective even against sepsis. And there's a beautiful paper published in the Evidence-Based Complementary Alternative Medicine in 2012. Likewise, it has a mung bean extract has an inhibitory activity due to the constituent vitexin and isobitexin on the formation of advanced glycation product. This is very important because advanced glycation product has a role even in Alzheimer's disease. Likewise, it's also useful for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is called NASH. Why and how it does that? It does that because these compounds, Vitaxin and isoprotection, they inhibit the generation of endogenous reactive oxidants and electrophiles, and therefore provide protection to the cells from oxidative injury. Very, very useful product. Interestingly, mung bean protein supplement improves muscular health in healthy, unreactive vegetarian adults. So it is not just a magic doll, it's really a medicine. Now, as I said, that we used two products to help these people. And one was mucosa wise and the second was Aristophanes. Now, what is mucosa wise? Mucosa wise was designed to alleviate human suffering that is caused by a breach in the integrity of the mucosal barrier that normally protects the host from a variety of injuries, and Aristophanes aims to promote regularity. It should be noted that the mucosal surfaces of the body, that is the surface lining the digestive, respiratory, and nasal cavity, sinuses, lungs, bronchial tubes, etc., and urinary system are the primary site for the pathogen entry into the host body. Now, going forward, in August 2013, a well-known physician from our area, Dr. Mark McClure, wrote a letter to me that he would like to come and visit me. I said, okay, come over. So when he came, he saw this picture hanging on one of our walls. He said, Archman, what is this? So I explained to him the story of this woman. He said, can you speak to her? I said, sure. So I called her and just spoke for about 30 minutes when I was in my own office. Then he wrote a 3-page article entitled Nature Botanical Medicine in a magazine called Health and Healing. And this magazine has a circulation of nearly 70,000 people. So even though, you see, I don't advertise my work, it gets around. Okay, I've spent not a dime on advertising work. I don't have a website, I don't have a YouTube. So therefore, my work is done by my clients, okay, by the friends of the research. And this article appeared in 3 pages. And I don't need to go through this, because the point is this, you see, that the goal of complementary medicine is not to treat a disease, but to restore balance in the body by restoring the natural healing capacity of the body. Dr. Lula embraces this talent in the field that is embossed on each of the products, serving the divine in the heart of man. We bring gifts for health to life. Now, a few years later, I visited with my old friend Rose Rose. And here's a picture of mine with her in our home in 2018, because he invited us at a Christmas lunch. And then December 15th, we went to see her, and she continues to eat a few leaves of neem every day for the last 20 years. And this neem tree that you see here is in her sunroom, and it has a fat trunk, okay? Because the tree is a bonsai. It's a small tree, even though it's pretty big. In the Sanskrit language, neem is called arishta, which means reliever of sickness. Now, a story which is very, very compelling, and that is about a story of Norma. She's 4 feet 10 inches tall, normal body weight 93 pounds, diagnosed in 2006 with intractable osteoporosis and at 52 years of age. By 2012, she's reduced to a body weight of 73 pounds, failed the standard of care treatment but refused biologics due to the possibility of developing cancer. Despondent, Norma returned home June 11, 2012 from the hospital to die at age 58. While cleaning out a file cabinet, Norma discovered a 23 January 1996 newspaper article in the Business Health Journal about a lady whose osteocolitis had been healed with the help of Dr. Lula from Chapel Hill. Norma contacts Dr. Lula by mail June 12 to 15, 2012. Then I recommended to her that she see a doctor of alternative medicine in Kononda, Latara, because I recommended this person. I knew this person very well, and he was a good doctor. After thorough evaluation, he recommended changes in diet and 4 rural research supplements. The changes in diet is similar that I have recommended to other people. 4 rural research supplements, Sanchi, to stop intestinal bleeding. I like to make a little point about this product Sanchi. Sanchi is a traditional Chinese medicine in Chinese medicine. This is a great product because it's root. You don't have to extract it. Just take the root powder. And this root powder, taken as a capsule, would stop the bleeding if anywhere there's a bleeding, and it will dissolve the blood clot into the blood clot. It's a very, very unique product, Sanchi. So it was given to her to stop intestinal bleeding, Copterlin, mucosa-wise and immunopathy to address her intestinal inflammation. In 4 to 8 weeks' time, she regained her normal bowel function with no bleeding, diarrhea, bloating, or pain. And here are the 4 products she took. Now, on September 29, 2014, Norma wrote to me, "It is so wonderful to be able to go places and not have to seek the bathroom immediately, to not have pain or gas, and to not look like a skeleton. I'm back to 93 pounds again." I related this story with Dr. McClure, and Dr. McClure interviewed her and prepared another article in the magazine Health and Healing. And it was very well read article. So Dr. McClure wrote, "Norma attributes her salvation first to God, and then to her incredible husband, family and friends, and of course to Dr. Nurse supplement. And the blessing continued. She credits 3 other mineral supplements for helping control her arthritis, which is itis vice, elevated cholesterol, which is berberine, and support for a tender sinew vice." On February 4th, 2020, Dr. Nurse sent a photo to Norma that had both Dr. Nulla and Norma in it. And this picture was taken on the 24th January 2019. And remember this picture. This picture became very, very important for her because it saved her life. I've covered her face because, it's not good to give pictures of people if they have not been publicly discussed. In the case of Rose Rhodes, that's not an issue. Okay? So on February 5th, 2020, Norma replied, "Whoa, thank you for the memories. I thank the Lord every time I think about how the journey ended. Blessings. I pray that you and your wife are well. Another blessing will help each other." Thus, the health of the blood-brain axis is established. Now, as you will see, I have not discussed anything about the biology of this disease, what goes on, how everything is happening. But fortunately, anybody interested can look at 2 videos, and they're available on YouTube. One is called Immunology of the Gut Mucosa, and the second is the Innate Lymphoid Cells. These are beautiful videos, and within a matter of 20 minutes to see, you can learn a lot that you will not learn in 10 years. Okay. I wish these videos were available like 20 years ago, but they were not. So next thing I want to share with you is the second section of my talk, and let me share my screen here. Hold on a minute. Share screen. Stop share. I will have, can I leave the meeting for a minute? Share.
With the slides.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have to stop the share. You are screen sharing, but you see, I have to go to my folder. Okay, so let's just stop the share, and let's see what's going on here. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute. Okay. All right. Now I can go back to Zoom. Yes. Okay. Now I will start the share again, and now we are ready here. Okay, so this is the second section of my talk, okay, which has to do with osteoarthritis and inflammation and the non-steroidal anti-drugs and their side effects. It is clear to everybody that inflammation is the root cause of most diseases. Arthritis, what is the standard of care for it? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroids, and knee replacement. And nowadays, more than 200,000 knee replacements are done per year. Some are quite successful, some are not. But it's all due to pain. because there's a lot of pain involved, and pain is a more terrible lord of mankind than even death itself. And here are the strategies that are used to control pain. Use of NSAIDs, corticosteroids, antidepressants, anticonvulsants, and then finally narcotics. But unfortunately, not all the patients achieve meaningful pain from both acute and chronic inflammation. Corticosteroids, if used carefully, have potential benefits in the regulation of inflammation, but their daily use and high dose is not advised because of the severe side effects that are now described by the mnemonic Cushing words. That is, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words, and they're shown here: cataract, ulcers, the skin thinning, hypertension, hirsutism, immune suppression and infections, necrosis of femoral heads, glucose elevation, osteoporosis, obesity, impaired mood healing, and depression and mood swing. So a lot of problems. Now what about the adverse effects of NSAID? Well, COX-2 selective NSAID, the pain and arthritis relieving medicine drug Vioxx, was actually voluntarily withdrawn from the market due to the safety concerns of an increased risk of cardiovascular events according to an alert from MedWatch, the Food and Drug Administration Safety Information and Adverse Event Reporting Program, and that was sent out by Merck. There thus appeared an article in our paper that loss of Vioxx is a blow to patients who suffer from arthritis. I wrote a letter to the editor saying, regarding your October 1 coverage of the withdrawal of the arthritis drug Vioxx, I for one do not believe that loss of Vioxx is a blow to patients who suffer from arthritis. The justification for development of these drugs, the justification for development of COX-2 selective drugs, Vioxx and Celebrex, was based on the recognition that the gastro and renal toxicity associated with the use of traditional NSAID, non-steroidal anti drugs, was caused by the inhibition of the constitutively expressed COX-1 enzyme. Therefore, during the launch phase of Vioxx and Celebrex, it was loudly proclaimed that constitutively expressed COX-1 enzyme perform vital housekeeping functions, and since COX-2 enzyme is induced during an inflammatory resistant and primarily in immune cells, it was hoped that the selective COX-2 inhibitors would be free of the toxicity associated with older NSAID. Unfortunately, the fact now showing it to be otherwise. Like COX-1, COX-2 is also constitutively expressed in certain tissues, that is, the endothelium and kidney. Since housekeeping genes are constitutively expressed, that is, they are always turned on, it implies that constitutively expressed COX-2 also performs many vital housekeeping functions. Disrupting such functions by the use of NSAID for the sake of pain relief is fraught with many ill health effects, including the continued progression of the underlying inflammatory disease. In light of this, the use of NSAID for the treatment of arthritis deserves to be re-evaluated. The writer is a former biology professor at University of Chapel Hill and heads the health food supplement company. The adverse effects of NSAIDs are many. They arise because NSAIDs inhibit both COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes that are constantly expressed in different tissues that produce prostaglandins essential to homeostasis. Thus, PGs perform many essential housekeeping functions, like NSAIDs, Aleve, ibuprofen, are dual COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitors and cause gastrointestinal, mucosal injury, renal and hepatotoxicity, antiplatelet effects and bleeding, oxidative stress, mesenchymal stem cell toxicity. And NSAID Celebrex is a selective COX-2 inhibitor, inhibits bone repair, cause cardiovascular and renal toxicity, and interference with resolution of inflammation. How come? COX-2 derived 15-deoxy delta 12-4 prostaglandin gene, that is 15-DPGJ2. The structure is shown here. That is produced locally in inflamed cell and tissue is intimately involved in the resolution phase of inflammation. There is a beautiful review article in Biochemical Pharmacology if somebody wants to read it. And the issue here is this, that during acute inflammation and resolution, there is a lipid-mediated class switching. That is, the same enzyme will first produce PGE2 and then later produce pro-resolving 15-deoxy-PGJ2 and therefore promotes the resolution of inflammation. It has potent inflammatory effects and antagonizes several pro-inflammatory transcription factors such as NF-kappa B, STAT3 and AP1, which while stimulating the anti-inflammatory transcription factor NRF2, being an endogenous ligand of a nuclear factor PPRA gamma it has many other beneficial pharmacological effects. Interestingly, it's also quite useful for tumor growth, for controlling tumor growth. And currently, there are about 716 papers on this molecule in PubMed. Now, easy said than done, okay? The onset, progression, and resolution of inflammation is a very, very complex subject and is considered to occur in 4 phases, requiring chemotactic cytokines and an intimate partnership among the phagocytes, that is the neutrophils, monocytes, and macrophages. And this is displayed in this picture. So this picture shows basically that the onset, progression, and resolution is a 4-stage process. See, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And I just want to draw your attention to phase 4. And the point here is this, that apoptotic neutrophils, when they are picked up by the macrophage, and the molecular environment has transformer concept beta, IL-10 and PT2, there is a clearance of apoptotic neutrophils and it promotes anti-inflammatory macrophage response. This is very important. This is not new. In 2003, the same thing was discussed where an apoptotic cell was removed by the phagocyte when the environment was, molecular environment was rich in transformer beta 1 and PT2 and low in TNF-alpha and IL-8. Now, various populations of mature tissue macrophages are strategically located throughout the body and perform important immune surveillance activities, including phagocytosis, antigen presentation, and immune suppression. And as you can see, the names are different, but it's the same cell. Okay? So macrophages are very, very important to keep body healthy. Now, a recent paper appeared which shows that macrophages COX-2 mediate efferocytosis, resolution programming, reprogramming, and intestinal epithelial repair. And second, an earlier paper showed the consistent inhibition of the enzyme cyclooxygenase 1 and 2 by NSAID drives macrophage towards the inflammatory phenotype by increasing TNF-alpha levels and inhibiting phagocytosis. Therefore, the protective functions of macrophage are replaced by their pathological functions. And that is the story which is the reason for all chronic diseases. And that is looking at the blue bloods and the red bloods. That is this area here and this area here. When you have an early apoptotic cell, phagocytosis takes place beautifully and results into tolerance and there is no inflammation. But when there is a late apoptosis, there is a necrosis of the cell, it produces several danger molecules, autoantigens, and inflammatory cytokines, and the macrophage now is not happy, it's activated, and this contributes to entirety of autoimmunity. So, the major physiological causes of chronic disease are failure of the acute inflammation to resolve, accumulation of primary or secondary necrotic tissue leading to unregulated immune responses, failure in self-antigen tolerance and therefore autoimmunity, sustained antigen exposure causing allergies, excessive immune activation or chronic immune suppression, and mitochondrial dysfunction in a lot more. Chronic inflammatory diseases are the leading cause of death and disability in the United States. They're probably in the whole world. There's a tremendous cost involved here. Heart diseases, cancer care, arthritis, obesity, diabetes, alcohol abuse, smoking, pain management, it runs into billions of dollars per year. And people are get hooked to a painkiller like a fish hook. What do we do about it? As I mentioned earlier, the chemokines. There is a chemotactic cytokines that mediate inflammation. We need to regulate them. And this paper in 1998 in New England Journal of Medicine is a classic paper, and I wish somebody more knowledgeable than I am could update this paper. Okay. So chemokines play a dominant role in chronic inflammation, chronic pain, autoimmunity, and cancer. And this diagram was the basis of my entire work, because this work showed that based on the chemokines produced in tissue injury, what cells will migrate here. Same here, as you can see in interleukin 8, it will attract neutrophils. MCP1 your taxane, glycine will attack eosinophils, T cells, monocytes, basophils. And this list goes on. But the key thing is, MCP1 is common in many of them. As you can see, MCP1 here, MCP1 here, MCP1 here, MCP1 here, it's everywhere. Why? Because it attacks monocytes. And we have a very nice molecule in our hands which can control that. Okay? So we have used this product in a tremendous manner to help people with kidney problems, rheumatic problems, with atherosclerosis, inflammatory bodies already discussed, psoriasis, and also even viral meningitis. Now, what do? Well, I have developed many products, out of which 12 of them are registered trademarks.
Excuse me, Dr. Narula, I just want to remind you that you have 5 more minutes to wrap it up.
Okay, I'm going to fly about right now. Okay, so we have made many products. Unfortunately, we have no clinical data available on them, and these supplements serve the needs of many who have chronic inflammatory diseases where the standard of care has failed. So, developing of these products, you see, we have come to a situation where I now describe to you the case of a woman who was 69 years old, Caucasian white female, height 5'1", weight this, and she was struggling with the knee pain, very severe knee pain, and she was expecting to get a knee replacement. But unfortunately, she couldn't do it because of some adverse reaction. This woman was suggested a single product to take, and that was called Itis Wise. She started on January 8, 2008, and she has continued to do it for now 14 years and stayed healthy. And she credits her health to this product, Itis Wise. Now, what is Itis Wise? Itis Wise regulates inflammation. The biological activity, effectiveness, and safety of its key ingredients offer protection to all the key organs of the human body by regulating essential and important diverse parameters such as cell function, cell integrity, vascular protection, growth, and energy homeostasis. When this is achieved, inflammation goes away. And I'm going to skip this because of lack of time, but it should be understood. The role of pro-inflammatory cytokines in the pathology of osteoarthritis is well known, and so is the role of pro-inflammatory cytokines and altered metabolism in select cells play a major role in the pathology of osteoarthritis. So, if there's a hand arthritis, then we have made another product called, sinew-wise, because they're small joints, and these two products work wonders for people with hand osteoarthritis. Bharati, I'm almost done, okay? And then this woman who suffered from spinal stenosis, she shows this picture to her doctor, Dr. Fukaya, that this has really helped her. So this is our Itis Wise, and then I'm going to skip this. Oh yeah, well, hold on, 1 minute. We also had somebody with a familial hypercholesterolemia, and this person had nearly become refractory to statin therapy and also had myopathy. High LDL cholesterol and glucose profile, insulin resistance, low HDL, sorry, I'm done, okay? Low HDL and excess body weight and lipoprotein apheresis if needed. This person was given a product called ATP Wise and 4 other products. And she was so pleased with them that she decorated these products on her table on Thanksgiving time. And I'll show you this picture. And then I want to show you a last picture of mine. And that is the here that if I said something today that you didn't like it, so please pardon me, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take whatever I mentioned to you in the palms of my hand and offer it as an offering of love to God so that we are free. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Narula, for a very, very elaborate talk. Now I request the audiences if they have any questions. Dr. Manna.
Hello, Professor Narula. See, PPR, gamma, whatever you are telling, whether it is good or bad.
It's a very good thing, PPR gamma.
See, because you, in the diabetic condition you need to upregulate this. Again you are telling
Yes.
something cancer, it is also related.
Well, you know, the cancer is a different beast, okay? Because in the cancer, you see, you do not want prostaglandin around because hardly any immune suppressant. And in fact, NSAIDs are helpful in cancer. Because in cancer, you see, you need to develop you need to develop a situation where you have an anti-tumor immunity. I didn't get a chance to discuss because of lack of time. Otherwise, I have a full 1 hour lecture on how to generate anti-tumor immunity in the body. Okay? Maybe next time.
Sure. Hi, Dr. Narula.
Yes.
I have two quick questions. I have listened your talk in some other occasion when I was in US, but now I am at KIT University, Bhubaneswar. So my question to you, these products, what you have shown, what is the status of heavy metal toxicity
Yes, good question.
in these
Yes.
products, like lead, mercury, etc.?
I'm going to answer. See, when we buy a raw material, we get a certificate from the supplier that it is free of the heavy metals. And second, we independently check ourselves by a third party before we supply the product to the manufacturer. Okay, so our products are free of the toxic metals. And also free of pesticides.
Okay. And my
Because these products are usually manufactured in California, and you cannot manufacture in California if the products show positive. Their positive is a raw material is positive of pesticides and heavy toxic metals.
okay, my second or last question. Any of these products are available in India?
No. You know, in fact, even they are not available in the United States and India because I don't promote my products. I don't sell them on Amazon.com. I don't sell them on eBay. I don't sell them in many stores. My products used only by doctors, medical doctors.
So I think we have one more.
Yeah, Professor Narula, I have one question. It's a very simple question that once you prepare any product, it has to go through because it's you are prepared from the natural sources. So is that these products have been gone through the clinical trials?
No, I already mentioned to you that none of these products have gone through because doing a clinical trial in the United States is essentially impossible.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
There is no climate here for botanical medicine.
Yes. There's one more question.
I think there is one more question.
Yeah, it's a very informative talk. It's not a question about the side effect of a drug like statin. So you mentioned that statin has a lot of bad thing. Still, every day we are eating the statin. And I can tell you that, you know, if you read the story of the statin, in the beginning, statin was recalled, and because of side effect, statin was recalled. Then the scientists in Merck company, they have reduced the dose, and now 30 years we are using the statin again. This is the story of.
Yeah, you know, the thing is basically that statins are the cause of diabetes. The 20 to 30% people who take statins, they become diabetic. Okay? And then when the diabetes is there, then the people start giving them metformin. And metformin is known to increase the levels of amyloid precursor protein. Okay, it's well known in the article in Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. And therefore, that leads to that Alzheimer's dementia. So it's very unfortunate that somebody has a minor increase in cholesterol, and then they're given statins, they get diabetic, and then they're given metformin. It's a good drug, but it has a problem, okay? And then it causes people Alzheimer's dementia. This circle, you see, is going on unfortunately without us looking at it. I'm sorry. We need to look at it with more care.
Thank you, sir.
So I think there are no more questions, right? So if there are no more questions, we thank you, sir, for such a wonderful lecture, and all of our audience enjoyed our lecture. And with this, we will conclude the session.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But please stay. I think we have to give a token of appreciation, but we have to deliver. We will send.
Yeah, we are going to send it with Dr. Bharatakarma. Bharaji, would you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, it was a very interesting talk. The inflammation-related disease is not increasing in developed countries, but developing countries are also facing this problem. And your lecture is very relevant in the current perspective.
So you'll be taking it to US? Okay.
Thank you, Bharaji. Appreciate that.
Now, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our chairpersons, Professor Agrawal and Professor S.C. Gupta. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time.